Kenna here, and today's video is going to be how to make the cheer team. So the reason I wanted to make this video was because like almost a year ago I made a cheer get ready with me, and a lot of you guys were asking for a video on how to make the cheer team, so here I'm making it. Basically, like 3 days ago, I had cheer tryouts for sophomore year. I felt like it was like one of the hardest years to make it because I know a lot of people that like have been doing it for a long time didn't make it, so I thought that I would like share some of the things that I have like been doing to make the cheer team to help you guys out. This video is completely just to like help you guys. I'm not trying to say that I'm like some amazing cheerleader or whatever. I'm just trying to help you guys if you want to make the cheer team. So I've been doing cheer since 7th grade, which is like the first year that you could do cheer. So I feel like I've like had enough years of trying out to be able to like give you guys the tips that I have like picked up from making it all these years. So you can take my advice if you want to, or you don't have to. I'm just out here trying to help you guys to make the team. So let's get started. So to make this video as helpful to you guys, I decided to make a table of contents. So if you just scroll down, the first comment in the comment section should be a comment that I made that just like has different sections of the video and a timestamp, and you just click the timestamp of whichever like section you want to go to, and then it should take you there. So if you just want to see one specific thing, you can click on that, and then you don't have to watch the whole video. So yeah. So I have on this paper a bunch of things that I'm going to be talking about. So if you're wondering what that paper is, that's why, otherwise I'll just be rambling forever. First thing I have is just like, before you decide if you're gonna try out for the team, consider these things first. You need to like want to do it, because I know a lot of people kind of just like think of cheer as like an easy sport that, you know, your parents are making you get involved with the school, and you think that like cheer is like an easy one. And I just want to say, like, if you make the team, it isn't just like an easy thing. It is work. You have to commit some of your time to it. So like make sure that you like cheer and you're not just doing it for like a silly reason, because if you do make the team, it's like a lot of work and effort and time put into it that like you don't want to be wasted on something that you don't even like to do. Something else like that a lot of people think who have never been on cheer before, they think that if they are a cheerleader, they will instantly like be popular or get a boyfriend or whatever, and that just isn't really true. I just want to say it, like, becoming a cheerleader does not instantly make you popular or everyone loves you or all the guys love you. Like, it doesn't do that. So if that's the only reason that you're trying out for cheer, don't do it, because like I said, it is a big commitment, and that's not like, if that's what you're expecting to happen, that's not guaranteed to happen. So next thing I'm going to talk about is there are like two different like categories that you need to be thinking about for cheer. So there's first like the mindset and attitude portion of cheer, and then there's like the physical, like the athletic physical kind of stuff, like how well you're doing the cheers, your like tumbling, your motions. And then the mindset is more like smiling and like your voice and that kind of stuff. So first I'm going to talk about your mindset and attitude. Some simple things that I'm just going to like say that you need to be doing is smiling, obviously, and it feels so horrible and uncomfortable whenever you are like dancing or doing a cheer and you just have like this really cheesy smile on your face. It feels really weird. But that is what the judges are looking for, because no one wants a cheerleader who's like all like mopey and doesn't get the crowd engaged. So you have to be smiling, or you probably won't make it. So it's really uncomfortable. Practice your cheers with a smile on your face, because you'll get used to that weird feeling. So the next thing is a loud and a peppy voice. Whenever you are on the track cheering for a football game, there's a big crowd in front of you. Everyone's screaming at the football players like, go, whatever. And so you have to be cheering very loud so that the crowd can hear you over all the screaming and all that kind of stuff. So they're looking for people with really loud voices. So practice loud, don't mumble, have clear words, that kind of stuff. And also, there's like a certain voice. Like, don't have a super monotone voice. Have like a peppier voice that makes people like want to listen to you, if that makes any sense. Next is sort of like more stuff with when you're at the clinics and the tryouts, still like with attitude and mindset. So the first thing is get along with others. So whenever you're at the clinic, the coaches that will be your future coaches, if you make the team, are like evaluating you and watching you to see if they think that you would be a good fit. And if you are like being rude or petty to other people trying out, then that is just like, they don't want to see that. They don't want that. So I just feel like either like don't say anything or be nice. If someone does a really good like tumbling thing, be like, oh, that was really good. You know, just like be nice to one another, because it's a really like uncomfortable, not fun time, cheer tryouts. I don't like cheer tryouts at all because everyone is super like uptight and nervous and not feeling super confident usually. So just try to be positive and make everyone feel more comfortable and better. Next is to the tryouts and the clinics, make sure that you're on time, because it shows I'm on time to these clinics, so I'm probably going to be on time to the practices and to the games whenever that comes. So that just kind of like shows spirit after everything. So it's super weird and uncomfortable once again, especially if you've never done this before. It does not feel normal, just like being like go like after every single thing you do. But you have to like after you tumble, you have to just instantly like finish your tumbling and just get up and like do that. Whenever you're practicing your cheers, like at home or wherever, make sure that you are spiriting. Make sure that you are jumping and kicking and tumbling in your spirits, because it makes you stand out, if that makes sense. Because if everyone's just spiriting, like waving their hand in the air or clapping or whatever, you're gonna stand out compared to them, which the judges will like that. And it's more entertaining for the crowd in like at a football game. And the next thing is wear what you're told to the clinics and to the tryouts. If they say wear a white t-shirt and black shorts, wear that. Like, don't try to go around what they're saying. If they say no jewelry, no jewelry, because your coaches will see that and they'll be like, okay, like she's already not following the right directions. We probably don't want her on the team. So make sure that you do that and just like listen to your coaches, whatever they're saying. So now I'm moving on to the physical kind of stuff, like the motions and all that sort of stuff. So the first most important thing probably is be sharp. So this makes a humongous difference in every single thing you do. So basically, if you don't understand what I mean by being sharp, some people will do like this motion, just like this. Like that was just, you know, you just put your arms up, simple, a high V. You're just doing it. You're not really like showing it off. So you can just be like this, or you can like snap into place. And it's not the best feeling because it feels weird, like snapping your arm up super hard and weirdly. But it looks so much better than just like kind of doing the motions and not fully like showing them off. It just makes a huge difference. So you need to be sharp with everything that you do. Like honestly, you will feel like a robot. You'll feel weird, but it looks so much better and the judges seriously do notice it. So the next thing, it's pretty obvious, but it's practice. You need to practice at home and like outside of the clinics. Don't expect to go to the clinics and just like after that not need to practice the stuff at all. Make sure that you're practicing and that you know everything super well. That's pretty obvious, but I just want to say that because I feel like there might be some people who think they go to the clinics, they have it pretty well, and then it's like 2 days later, it's tryout time, and you completely forgot everything, which would not be good. So the next thing is have someone watch you, or if you can't do that, film yourself or watch yourself in the mirror. See how it actually looks, because in your head you might think that it looks super awesome and amazing, and then you see in real life and you're like, whoa, like it does not look good. I need to sharpen things up. I need to move my arm, whatever. So the next thing is to practice with other people, like next to them, because at least in my tryout, we have to practice with 2 other people. If somebody next to you messes up, it kind of messes you up because in the corner of your eye, you see them do something different than you. So then you want to like like you think that you're doing something wrong. So practice with other people next to you and maybe even have them mess up just so that like you can have that feeling of just like not looking at them and just like keep going with whatever you're doing. The next thing is to take videos of whatever the stuff is that you have to do, the dances and the cheers and that kind of stuff. Usually they will let you do it, but if they don't, make sure that you get a video because you're not going to remember every single foot motion and every single motion that you have to be doing. Next is stretch before tryouts, and by that I mean like a week before, because if you like have the splits but you haven't done your splits in like 6 months, then you're going to feel really tight whenever you're doing kicks and jumps. Like a week before the clinics, just kind of like have a little stretch out session every night, but don't go too far because then you might be sore, which also isn't a good thing. So next is practice good habits whenever you're practicing. So instead of practicing stuff sloppily or like without doing like the head turn or without, you know, if you don't do it how you want it to be in the end, you're probably never going to do it that way, if that makes sense. I'm going to talk about some other tips and like some like misconceptions that people like to have with cheer tryouts, because since I've been doing this for a few years now, I kind of know like that these things a lot of people think, but they aren't really true. So the first thing, and I'm not trying to cause any drama, is just because someone is a competitive cheerleader does not 100% mean that they're going to make the team. So basically, I hear a lot of people saying like, oh my gosh, like you do competitive cheer, you'll definitely make the team. When I just want to say that is not guaranteed. Competitive cheer is very different from school cheer because it has stunting and more like fast dancing and less just like typical traditional cheers. So they are very different, and I'm not saying this to like bash on competitive cheerleaders. Yeah, they're usually really good at cheer, but I just want to say if you're not a competitive cheerleader, don't freak out. Don't think that like they're better than you. Just know that like competitive cheer is different than school cheer, so don't feel stressed out or intimidated by competitive cheerleaders because it does not 100% mean that they'll make it, and there are so many people that don't do competitive cheer that make it. Like me, I've never done competitive cheer. So the next thing I want to say is I'm going to talk about tumbling. So a misconception I feel like a lot of people have is they think that just because you have good tumbling means that you will make the team. I know a lot of people who are really good cheerleaders and who have been making the team every single year, and they can only do like a cartwheel and they still make the team every year because everything else is good. So if you don't have good tumbling, don't freak out. And something I want to say is don't go and try to get a private lesson and learn how to do a back handspring in like a week. Like don't be like, oh my gosh, tryouts are in a week, let me just try to learn how to do a back handspring, because that is just like not going to end well, because you're going to be super stressed doing the back handspring. You're going to want a mat, you're going to want a spotter, you're going to be freaking out. So that's not good, because during the tryouts you don't get a mat, you have to do it on the gym floor, and you don't get a spot on anything. So, you know, you're going to just be like, oh my gosh, I haven't done this enough times to like be comfortable. Like, that's not good. If you want to learn back handspring or whatever, that is great, but make sure that you do it before, before tryouts, you know? So then you're not a week before tryouts freaking out and like you're maybe sore from practice, and it's just, don't like try to cram learning something whenever like it's more important to focus on like the other stuff than like try to do that, you know? And the last thing about tumbling is a clean round off is better than a bad back handspring. So what I'm saying for this is, for our score sheet, it is a total of 60 points. And 15 of those points are tumbling, which sounds like a big amount, 1/4, but only 5 of those 15 points have to do with what skill level you do. And the other 10 are just how well you execute it. So if you do a really great round off, that's only 1 point for skill level, but that's 10 points for execution, which gives you 11 points for tumbling, which is not a bad score at all. But if you do a bad back handspring, that's 2 points for skill level and maybe like 5 points for execution, which ends up being only 7 points for tumbling, which isn't like that good of a score compared to what you could have gotten if you just went with the round off. So keep that in mind, that like, you know, like execution is more important than skill level. It still is good, and I know that people, like, I always think like, oh, the judges will see I can do back handspring, so like I want to show that I can do back handspring even if it's not that good. But in the end, I feel like the judges don't really care what skills you're doing. They're just like judging you and being like, yeah, that was a pretty bad back handspring, I'm gonna deduct points, you know? So just stick with what you know you can do well, because you'll probably get more points in the end. And finally, I'm going to talk about jumps and kicks. So first up, I have keep your chest up. So whenever you jump, keep your chest up, because if your chest is leaned over, it's just not going to look good. Even if your legs are high up, it's not going to look good. And the next thing is pointed toes, straight legs. Pretty obvious, self-explanatory, but it seriously makes a big difference. You can tell someone does a jump or a kick and their toes aren't pointed. It just looks bad. Finally, similar to the whole like back handspring tumbling thing, a lower toe touch with your legs lower, but your legs are straight, your toes are pointed, you're tight, it's clean, is better than a toe touch where your legs are super high up, but the toe touch is really messy, your legs are bent, your toes aren't pointed, you don't land super nicely, because like it's gonna look a lot nicer. Even if your legs aren't all the way up here, it's gonna look better. So that is everything I have to tell you guys. Hopefully this is helpful to you. If it is, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And comment down below if you want to see a standing back tuck tutorial. In my like cheer get ready with me, someone asked me to do a standing back tuck tutorial, but I wanted to know if you guys were still interested in that, and I'll do it if you want it, because I taught myself how to do a standing back tuck. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye.